I'm about to try something shockingly stupid here. And I don't want anyone to tell me what's going to happen. So, I know liquid mercury has a terrible thermal... what's the phrase? Thermal conductivity? No, specific heat capacity is absolutely abysmal. So it should transfer temperatures quite quickly. I'm interested in what I can do with it from a purely experimental standpoint. Now, while it's been nice to have liquid walks at far, far below zero, I don't have to worry about freezing up on me. I'm curious as what I can do with liquid mercury, beyond using it to evolve Lox pups in. This is going to take a while to melt because there's 2 tons of it. Thankfully, I have more than enough ores to play around with. And when we get done, I'm going to make... hopefully I'll have a few more eggshells. I'll try 1 run of steel just to see what happens. If I wind up with a bunch of mercury vapor, 1, that's funny, and I know what happens. If I wind up with a bunch of, like, 300-degree liquid mercury, that's also fun, and we can see what happens. I have to wait for this stuff to melt first. And while I wait for that giant block of mercury to melt, starting to run into heat issues with the pike apples. Because the amount of crap going on, between the amount of activity going on and the lack of thermal mass, I shouldn't say to hold cold. That's technically what it was doing, was keeping the area cold. We're at minus 14, minus 12 here. That the pike apples were starting to get a little too warm. Now, normally having to cool things off is expected when you're running crops. I didn't expect to keep them this cold. However, I do have a suitable reservoir of cold up here. So granted, this comes out at minus 15. And then it loses... sorry, is it losing heat or gaining cold? This is a weird sort of vernacular I've entered into. So the brine itself is being cooled by the surrounding thermal mass, coming out here and then getting even colder because even insulated pipes have some amount of heat loss, right? Well, not heat, a small amount of heat transfer, right? You can tell here we're at minus 19, up to minus 5. Right, we're slowly increasing. We're slowly pulling heat out of the environment with all this stuff, which means we're actually like slowly cooling the environment. 1 run of the... Now the issue is going to come when this is eventually... If I take too much out of here, this minus 10 is going to stay minus 10. And it's gonna warm this area up, and I'll have another pike apple problem. If that's the case, let's move the ranch. Got lots of room to move ranches around. This is going to be these pike apples already a little warm. I'm gonna guess it's because of heat production in the washroom. I should probably take this down. Where's it here? Thermostat. Outhouses increase heat. Because, yeah, I really don't want to use a phrase like heat transfer from dupes to building, but technically that's what's happening. And then these, yeah, the wash basins are taking in warm water from here, so this is gonna have to... We're gonna get the achievement. Tell you what. Yeah, I did move at 9. We're gonna get that achievement where we, was it bed and bath? Plus, I won't have these clogs of ice that build up when the water in the wash basins gets too cold. Let that go for a minute. This should We pulled a lot of cold out of the area. Which again is an odd way. There we are. Colony achievement. That should be bed and bath. Royal flush. I'm sorry. Got that one. That should do a bit here. Gotta have to do something with all this potted dirt. I will. If I'd played this the way I was supposed to, by playing it with the one asteroid in the original game, I'd have access to poke shells. I don't. I have to go somewhere to get poke shells. Hurry up and melt. I have to go and get poke shells from somewhere. The same way that I have to go and get oil from somewhere else too. What do you got? Farming, building, supplying. A pip that will immediately die in a building researcher. Grease monkey, blah blah. Mouth breather is not an issue right now. We've got so much air. Super hard, grease monkey. I've got a researcher already though. You can all wait. Because we're gonna have to go to... Is that a teleporter? Teleporter. We're gonna have to send someone over here. To this place that we can't. Someone's gotta go over here, get us some oil. So we can get some plastic. So we can make... I'm on the wrong planet. So we can make... steam turbines. When these turn on. And I'm curious, if we keep feeding... Here's the thing. If this just turns these guys on and they make steam... Once I clear that mammoth patty out of there, and they just make steam if we feed it water, something else has got to happen here. There's got to be something else. I bet if I turn all of these things on, and it's going to immediately go, ugh, blocked. But I would rather have some way to deal with the steam beforehand. The last thing I want to do is blast a bunch of heat into this area. We've got... I made that as high. I kidnapped a pip out of here to try to wild plant something, and it decided it didn't like the cold. And I'll leave it at that. But we're going to have to get some plastic. That's going to be a while. This is all wonderfully cold. Like if I just piped carbon dioxide down here and let it condense and stored it, this would be awesome. I don't think there's any more... Well, we know what... Star map. We've got access to this. I haven't found the cool steam vent yet. And... I'm going to assume there's only one of everything else. There might be... Well, I guarantee there's something hiding in here. This is a whole different biome. Or mammoth biome. It might be up there, or it might be... Oh, I hear it. There's a background noise. That might be the cool steam vent. Or it's hiding in the frozen biome. I don't know. I'm going to try to get this thing to melt. And then we'll see what kind of disaster that causes. Okay, that happened a lot faster than I expected it to. This goes up here. I suck a bunch of liquid mercury. You're going to put, say, liquid mercury in here. I've got 2,000 kilos of it, so I should be able to do 2 runs of something, but let's do 1 run of steel and see what happens. No power. Right. There. I'm very curious what's going to happen. If this just explodes into mercury vapor, that's funny, and if it doesn't, then we have a new high-temp substance to play with. Come on, guys. You can do it. Oh, this is what I get for not storing materials locally. Come on, someone get down here and operate this thing. That's why. I needed to make sure everything over here was running so that this We generate enough heat over here. Alright. Let's put this on regular speed and see what happens. This is going to impart a whole lot of thermal energy into that Mercury. 18.5, it's not bad. Oh. 19. Oh, there we are. Mercury at 1600 degrees. I think we have a problem. I think. Oh, it's just gonna keep blowing up. Alright, empty storage. Let's see what happens. I wasn't expecting that much heat, but holy wow. This is gonna fry everything over here. Hi, someone want to come over here and do this? Empty storage. That's hilarious. Oh, it did it! Remarkably little... Huh. Well, we've got Mercury everywhere now. That's okay, because we knew that was going to happen. Remarkably few consequences for the environment. So we clearly can't use iron. Iron, what is it? 1600 degrees. It's iron to iron ore. No, it's still, that'll probably wind up with 600. It's gonna be 400. Let's try 1. Let's fix that. Let's try 1 run of copper just to see what happens. We even get anything in here? Nope, it just all end up on the floor. The weird part is all that heat just... I expected a giant cloud of steam. Probably because I emptied storage instead of took it apart. I've done that mistake before. This thing be full of stuff I can't get out of it. Take it apart, be a blast of steam. Although, to be honest, doing that with Mercury would be pretty funny too. Someone make me 1 run of copper, just to see what happens. Are you still waiting on... No, you have enough. See what happens. Remember, dupe safety is one of our concerns. Far less interesting than any of the other ones, but it's a concern. And whaff. 500 degrees. All right, so today, class, we learned that we learned that Mercury is not good for these purposes. Which, yes, we could have assumed that. Just take this thing apart. I want to watch all the Mercury explode. Don't. Just take the thing apart. I want to watch a big flash of vapor Mercury just to see what happens. Huh, I expected something slightly more interesting. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled disasters. We're many, many, many cycles later. And one thing I had completely forgotten about was that nectar can apparently turn into plastic. Now either I hadn't made the thing and hadn't thought about it yet. I'm sure I noticed it on someone's video. What are we here? Refinement. I'm not going to turn it on. I just want to see what it. Just want to check this. Someone come and build this. We're not turning it on here. Don't worry. Why is there, guys? Even food on the floor. all over the place, too. Jeez. Do I not have... I bet you don't have space for it. That barbecue away. Polymer press. Requires plastic monomer. Damn it to hell. I could have been doing this the whole time. Oh fudge. It requires a bit more, so instead of 500 grams of plastic, you need... Oh no, it's just any monomer, right? Petroleum or nectar. So either one of them. 833 grams a second to get you 500 grams of plastic. So I need what here? Power. Steam turbine. 200 kilos of plastic. I would need to do... Get back here. 200 kilos. I would need to do 400 operations. Gonna be a pile of steam I don't need. A bunch of CO2 I don't care about. Well, no, that I have to deal with, because if I'm gonna do this thing, it's gonna happen... It's gotta happen down here where all the heat is. And at the moment, I don't know where that carbon dioxide is going to go. This place is massively overpressured. I don't want to waste time. I really don't want to waste time having to run a CO2 scrubber. Because why? And what I ought to do, I should just be containing a bunch of this. I should just build an infinite gas storage, stuff it all in there, and then when I need to, somehow pipe it all up to a rocket. When I say somehow, I really mean somehow, because I'm not entirely sure how it's getting all the way up there. Is in any kind of, or 50, 32... If I send it up through that biome, it's gonna solidify. This building kind of revealed itself. I don't know what... It's a neat building. It's really nice. Great decor. Whole bunch of wood. That is a colossal bed. That looks like a two-person bed. Unfortunately, it's the display model, so we can't do anything with it. And it seemed comfortable until I read that. Composed granite. Ooh boy. This nice couch. I guess that's why it's a display model. Although, you don't really want to see how well it's gonna sit before you buy it. There's much diamond. Some free diamond. And I'm gonna have to... Well... What do you have in you right now? Bonbon tree's got what? What's in you? Contains 20 kilos of nectar. So if I got up here... and piped a bunch of this stuff in... Oh, it's free nectar, and it's better than going to another planet to get plastic. Get oil. Work on that. Oh yeah, and my poor planning has kicked in. I kind of thought this was gonna... I didn't anticipate using quite so much salt water. I figured the brine would be good, but we're not using... The way I hooked everything up is causing problems. We're using a whole bunch of brine. This is gonna have to be... What I ought to do. This guy here says, what comes out depends very much on the initial temperature of what goes in. Once I figure out how this thing works, which, you know what, let's just do that. Here. You have power? You have... Nope. I disconnected something else. Do that. What happens if you hit pressure? Because if I could just dump hot salt water down there, already at 95? 95 or 99? 95C. Should I not then get some really good steam out of it? And I remember seeing something about how it will have byproducts. Which means it's probably going to hork out the salt. We'll let this run for a bit. I'll be back here shortly. Getting it. Got a cutscene going on. Bad things are happening. Oh my. Venting what? Venting 170 degree steam. That's cool. 111 tons remaining. High temperature materials must current emission before accepting new materials. Okay, are you? Oh, it's got to build back up again. Okay, well that's easy. I can deal with that. I can just shut that off for a minute and we'll stop giving you something. You horked out... You're horking out a whole bunch. 107 degrees steam. Well, it was. 175 is not bad. I can work with 175 degrees steam. I can capture that. The problem is it's got an awful lot of... That one's running. Oh, I never reconnected you, that's why. So you're gonna hork out... Oh boy, that's... I tell you what. Someone want to come along and let's give all this steam something to do. I mean, one easy way to get a whole bunch of water out of this. I get that the abyssalites there to try to keep some of the heat in. What's going to happen here? 107 degrees steam has accidentally liquid locked, which I'm... Now that we know what it does, we know how to deal with it. That's going to eject a whole bunch of that. And I bet if I connected that, the same thing would happen. If I unblocked that, the same thing would happen. So this is... Yep. Give me some plastic. Give me a whole bunch of plastic. I'm gonna have to vacuum out a room somehow, just so either vacuum out a room or reservoir an awful lot of it. Oh yeah, this is all put together. I vacuumed out the room. Did that. We're ready to switch over to this. This is gonna make enough for like 17 dupes. I don't really intend to get past 12. I know a lot of players just go absolutely nuts on the dupes. I did it in a lot of my earlier runs, and it's like you're trying to keep track of all of this junk. I'd rather just have a mountain of... We're decreasing on food supply for some reason. I'd rather have a mountain of food and way too much oxygen than not the other one. Because what this lets me do is, if I take on a 13th dupe, and I send him somewhere, say over to that other, the oily world or whatever, I send him over there, I can... Where's that building? That's the out. Where's the in? It's right here in front of me. I just can't see it. Where you is. Wherever the inn is. I know the input's here right in front of me somewhere. It's staring me in the face. Either way. When I activate the inside of the teleporter, I can ship them oxygen for as long as I need to. Rather than having to worry about them generating oxygen, here's my surplus oxygen. Although now I might not have to go there. That said, this is going to let me build I'm going to build a lot more oxygen, which means I can do things like I can block in areas like down here or down here and have them use masks to get in. To not deal with the carbon dioxide quite so much. Or if I want to, oh, there's not a lot of lead here, is there? What have I got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's gonna turn into half. I'll have 500 kilos of lead, but then it takes 300 to make a lead suit. 200. I'll be able to make 2 lead suits. Just to get people up there. It's not a lot of lead. It's not a lot of lead at all. Plus, I still have to figure out what the heck I'm going to use. What kind of liquid am I going to use to do that? We cleared using liquids? How? Doesn't have a... Can't turn it on. How do I block it? How do I unblock it? Do I have to run something past it? And it's gonna be 300 and some degrees. I'm gonna need... I'm going to need... petroleum? Lead's temperature again. Lead melts at 327. I took the damn plastic press apart. Nectar. It's a plastic monomer. Petroleum. So petroleum lets me get to 5 something. So I'm going to need petroleum. Oh, it's petroleum. I need oil. Who are you? Oh, it's Blashshot. Yep, gotta go. Gotta go to the next world. Don't have a choice. Well, I'll get working on that. It's unfortunate. Should have played this straight. Would have had oil. Would have not deal with this crap. Just would have other crap to deal with. Well, hopefully, nothing breaks too badly between now and then. And if it does, well, you'll find out anyway, because there's one thing people want to see. It's when things fail. See you in the future.